Well, welcome to a very special Brownlow Medal edition of In the Pocket. And, the Brownlow Medal, of course, Sunday night for the very first time in the AFL because of the Queen's passing, of course. And, one bloke that, to be honest, I put him up on a pedestal like King Charles III. It should be Spida Everitt the third for mine. But
Absolutely.
Spida, how are you?
I'm Spida Everitt the second. My man's a Peter Everett, so we're the second.
Have you got another one, mate? Have you got the third generation coming?
No, I wanted to call my young fella Boston Peter, but I didn't get that over the past the captain. So the skipper said, nope, his name's Boston. I said, all right, his middle name's Peter.
Love it, mate. Hey, listen, Brownlow Medal, it's always an interesting little thing because markets fluctuate so much throughout the season, don't they, Spy? Players get into form. People want to play early markets because they see a little bit of value and all that kind of stuff. But it's always a different little way, and it's a good way. It's a good, fun way to sit back, I suppose, and enjoy the night. There's so many different betting options, all thanks to the crew at Palmer Bet as well, Spy.
Absolutely. Look, a lot of people say, the Brownlow is the boringest night to watch. Well, put a bit of investment in it and try and work out the top three, and you look out throughout the year. It's always a hard market to try and pick. And, all the players are there. It's going to be cracker on a Sunday night as well. The night of nights, everybody dressed up. And, I tell you, suddenly, especially for the top liners, as soon as they start at halfway, starting to get some votes, you see the beers turn to water. And they just slow down a little bit because we remember Adam Cooney, who got up there half-cooked a few years ago and pretty much said he'll marry his missus with a burger ring. And, look, there's some good nights. And then you see Favola and in his nights after the Brownlow. So, look, if you're there, it's a great night. It's good fun. Like it is. And it's the night of nights. So,
how many times have you been, Spite? How many times have you been to the Brownlow?
Oh, look, I would have been easy, probably 10 times.
Good fun.
Look, yeah, absolutely. I've been fortunate enough to be there when Robert Harvey won it as well. So when a team member of yours wins it, and amongst all the celebrations, and the Crown put on a beautiful VIP area and a big room up there for just you and the rest of your teammates. It's a special night, and it's fantastic. And you just got to be careful on how much you get stuck into it early, but. You know what? It's always fascinating to find out who polls the most. And you know what? It's an unbiased opinion. It's an umpire's opinion. We haven't got people who have got, feet in this camp or, got mates here or mates there. It's just a straight out on anything can happen, which is great.
And Spide, no doubt in this day and age too, especially over the last 5 or 6 years, I reckon the umpires definitely take into consideration the stats, don't they? I think it's been talked about in the last couple of years in particular. They do get a stat sheet after the game, and that's obviously a bit of a focus in regards to their votes, because especially the last couple of years, we've seen it being a little bit more easy to predict, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been. But at the same time, I suppose they're the people getting the footy and they're the ones around it. But you've got 3 umpires now. So I think, as an umpire as well, you can't be there counting how many stats, a Pendlebury get or a Lockie Neal get. You've got to be really concentrating on. And sometimes some of these players can set up a lot of play and, you really don't know. They go along their business. They haven't got the blonde dreadlocks or they haven't got the big mullets, so they don't stand out. They just go along doing their job. And, when you've got new umpires too coming into the system, not every umpire knows every player as well. So I think absolutely you should look at vital stats like that. So absolutely, I don't mind that. I think they've got it pretty right. There's not too many that have been, sit there and go, how did he win it?
Yeah. Hey, listen, let's have a look at the odds. All thanks to Palmer Bet, of course, for the Brownlow Medal. And I'm going to start off at the top of the top of the table, to be honest. Lockie Neal currently $3, thanks to Palmer Bet.
Yep.
At round 18, he was $4. So he's been in the market all year, to be honest. He's won a Brownlow before. We know he's a superstar. Clayton Oliver, $3.60. He was $4.20 at round 18. So he's been supported as well. Patrick Cripps, big mover here. At round 18, he was $10 Spide. He's now into $5.50. Tuke Miller was $15 at round 18. He's into $7.50. He's halved his quote, the Gold Coast superstar. Andrew Brayshaw, now at round 18 Spide, he was $3.75. He's got the wobbles, mate. He's out to $8. And Christian Brachaka at round 18 was $8. He's got the wobbles a bit too. He's out to $10. So it's just been interesting to see that fluctuation, especially Brayshaw and Tuke Miller. They're the two big movers, aren't they, Spide?
Well, they've done a heap of odds, and you look every part of the media and look at different ways people have tried to calculate this. They've got computer systems in. They've got a $10,000 computer system to say who is going to win this, and they've put all the data in it. And they say Lachie Neale's 37% chance to win. Clayton Oliver's 35%. So it looks like them two are going to take it out. And then Patrick Cripps, 17%, Touk Miller, 10%, Brayshaw, 9%, Petrarca, 7%. So it kind of runs with what the odds are saying as well. So have they all got it right? For me, look, Lachie Neale, absolutely in the top three. I'd be looking at the top three. Will he win it? I don't. I reckon somebody's going to surprise us. I reckon somebody like me. I love Andrew Brayshaw. I want Andrew Brayshaw, a team that really surprised this year, won a lot more games than expected. He got a lot of the ball. He stood out. He set from young Dacos, the rising star, to Cameron for the Coleman. No, Curnow to the Coleman into him. So I want him to get up for other reasons as well. But honestly, I think he's a chance. I reckon Andrew Brayshaw for me will win it. I reckon Lachie Neale second. For third, this is going to be interesting. When you've got Clayton Oliver still polling so well, but you got Petrarca and these blokes still getting votes. Don't forget, there's still Brayshaw there who will be polling a few. There's still players amongst that group you'd think would take a few off Clayton Oliver. So, So for me, I reckon Touk Miller. I reckon he's had a fantastic year. The Suns had a better year. Even in the games,
won enough games this year.
Yeah, probably just a couple short. Yeah, but if you're backing players to get the most votes in the team, you'd probably be short priced. But absolutely, I'd be still putting him. To be honest, I'd be taking a three-way. I'd be taking a multi top three and putting him in one of the equations for sure. It's not out of the question.
I'm with Clayton Oliver this year. I just reckon he's had his possessions are huge. I think he's even beat Lachie Neale. I think he was the leading possession getter in the AFL. Beat Lachie Neale. I just reckon he had a great year last year, but I reckon he's been better this year. And I reckon Petrarca's just dropped off a little bit, ever so slightly. So Oliver for mine, but I'll tell you where I'm going to play too. And this is my Tigers. I watch a lot of Richmond games, obviously, Spide, but Shea Bolton to get the most votes for Richmond. I think he's about $283. Presti is the favourite. I reckon that's the value maker. Honestly,
absolutely.
I've watched a lot of Tigers games. Presti's missed a lot of games, and I reckon Shea Bolton's that little X factor. He buzzes in and out of games, and I reckon he's a play at a little bit of value for Richmond followers, mate.
I'll give you something you'll be pretty excited about as well. Not only that, I agree with you there because I remember I had Presti for 20 plus one day and he got injured in the first 3 minutes. So that cost me. So I won't be back in Presti. I'll be on Shea Bolton. But Shea Bolton is now my son's favourite player. So that's the kind of influence he's had throughout the year. But that's the influence they have, these players, when they do have a cracking year like he's had, because he has. And I agree. What's he at? $2.80, did you say?
Yeah, I think to get the most votes at Tigerland, mate, I just thought that was the value. I know it's shortening up, but I reckon jump in.
Absolutely. Jump in and find a couple. I think if you go through a lot of teams, there will be a few of those little smokies that, actually did some years, did some really good games. Find out who's been injured and who's, not available, but that's a great. I thought he'd be in the $1.80, $1.90. So to get him at $2.80, absolutely jump on board.
Yeah, hey, Spy, there's so much at Palmerbet. There's club betting, there's most votes at the halfway, but there's so many things to do. So jump in, get involved with the team at Palmerbet. Brownlow Medal Night, always a sensational evening. And as we always say, Spider, gamble responsibly, do it in a responsible manner. That is for sure, mate. But hey, listen, great to catch up for a little bit of a Brownlow special, big fella.
Absolutely. We love it. Grand final week just around the corner. But, the Brownlow special, have those little bits and pieces throughout the night. It does make it a lot more entertaining. And hopefully they get the Brownlow right at the end because they don't want to happen to what happened at Mrs. Universe and, like Sarah Murdoch and just name the wrong person. So let's hope they get that right. But gamble responsibly and enjoy it. Brownlow on a Sunday night.